Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek number 158. What's your flavor of Ransom? And I did not choose that title. I'm not sure who did.
Who you think?
Right.
I feel like that was a Caprico title.
That sounds like a Caprico title.
Yeah.
Caprico, you got to come up with better titles.
Yeah, it's fine.
That doesn't look like a bad title. I didn't have one for tonight other than TSA stole my shit. Other than that, I don't have any title.
Pips?
What, they stole it? I thought they just broke it.
Well, I'm missing an HDMI capture device and an HDMI splitter. And I filed a complaint. Let's see how that goes.
Are you sure you packed it?
I'm sure, yes. I am anal retentive. Live Beef has watched me pack up my gear before. I am anal retentive when it comes to making sure that all the right shit is packed in that Pelican case.
You seem to be reasonably cautious about putting stuff in there, but I wouldn't call what you did anal retentive.
All right.
But then again, it was kind of like tired, so.
I make sure there's full of everything in there because I've got to make sure it's there for the next conference. And luckily, I have enough stuff for the next conference. The next conference I'm going to record is probably 2 tracks. Well, no, wait. The next conference I record probably 4 tracks. I need to pack stuff back up. Luckily, I have enough stuff in reserve that I'm good. But I'm out like almost $200 in equipment right now because of the splitter and the HDMI capture dongle coming up missing.
What do you think they did with it? You think some agent just brought that shit home?
I think someone just unpacked the damn Pelican case, and because when I got the Pelican case, cords were hanging out, and they snapped the case shut on top of it. I just think it didn't all get packed back in.
Gotcha. They had to investigate it to make sure there were no bombs in there, and then they were like, "Fuck, we're not gonna put all this shit back, right?"
Well, I'm sure you guys have seen the meme where there's a camera tripod with a camera on it, and they made it kind of look like an AR, and said, you know, who needs a gun or weapon like this? And it was just a camera, you know, kind of fancied up. That's quality.
Yeah,
Quality meme, it's right there.
This is the biggest loss I've had since, I think DerbyCon 2016 or so. Someone stole a camera of mine. But they didn't even steal. They took the damn tripod head, so the tripod was then useless. They didn't take the power source. But they came in, they grabbed the camera and left. But it wasn't one of the con attendees, as best as we can tell.
Yeah, because at that point, the Hyatt, they probably have cameras out in the lobby and everything, right?
Yeah, the security team supposedly looked at it, the stuff, and we don't think it was a con attendee who took it. There's someone off the street happened to see it during lunch break and just grabbed the camera and went.
Yeah.
But right now, the TSA has me missing a HDMI splitter and an HDMI video capture dongle, which I will fucking replace. I may do a GoFundMe. Though the GoFundMe, I said, should I start a GoFundMe on Twitter? And I also put in the option for should I just retire? And there's a whole disturbing number of motherfuckers who say I should retire.
Because they don't like you because you're controversial.
But I'm so putty.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're definitely not arguing the purtiness.
So you would say you retired, right? Nobody's going to step up and do the same shit. And there are going to be a whole bunch of talks that just don't go recorded. And they'll be happy because they got their way.
Oh, hi, Dr. AMG. How you doing? Someone in the chat.
Hey, AMG.
Hey, AMG. What's up, dog?
We got in the show notes.
What's up with me? What's up with you?
Cap is going to ShowMeCon, and I will be recording him.
Ooh. So, are we going to get the lighting right so he doesn't look like he's 9'6"?
No, we want him to look like he's 10'6".
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna like film him below to make him look like he's 8 foot tall.
That'd be sweet if that guy. People send picture requests to him for him to Photoshop and everything. He does weird funky stuff. If during Cap's talk, you could just kind of X out his entire upper body, and his head could just be directly on his
I
waist.
also put a smoothing filter on him so he looks like he's 12.
Ooh, I like it. Clean
Oh.
shaven and everything.
I'll make sure I shave right before I go on stage.
Well, if you shave before you go on stage, we're gonna put a beard filter on you, so
Yeah.
you're screwed either way.
The SomiCon, they treat those speakers better than pretty much any conference out there. So you should have a good time there, man.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the things that they said that they were going to do, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't cheap out. Unlike me,
Oh.
I cheap out.
Like what?
I get, I don't know if this is public information, but it's going to be.
It is now.
But my hotel is taken care of, which is great. Besides KC, I live in the area, so that's not a big deal. But
The Ritz, it is.
So, Adrian, are you also Irongeek's beard, or is that somebody else?
That's also my account. Yeah, I control that account too.
isn't that paint that
Yeah,
has
I thought that
control
was
of that?
paint.
No, I control that account. I think
Oh,
he's the one who drew the artwork and put the beard on my. The original artwork was by Eddie the Yeti,
oh,
and then Paint put a beard on it to represent my normal beard itself. So right now I am somewhat beardless. It's serious 5 o'clock shadow right now.
And good evening, Cynthia. Glad you're
Hello.
listening. But yeah, so Cappy's going to be talking. I'm guessing it's going to be about something information security related. You know, these days he focuses on so little that he spreads it out a lot. So, Cap, you want to give you focus on one thing. You want to give a high level overview?
yeah. So the high level overview is I'll be doing a talk, and I have to talk about this or a piece of it with Adrian after the show, because I might do stuff that I don't want to have recorded.
Hey, you just need to shut off the camera. We can do that
Yeah.
because I may not even be the person in the room at the time, but you just let the video people know.
Yeah. So essentially, it's going to be a talk on Docker container security in general, and then how I stumbled upon with these guys some nefarious actors that were taking over Docker containers for crypto mining. So, and how I took them down,
Sweet.
which is fun.
It's like how I'm a badass. The story.
Yeah, it's not as badass as you think it is. But if you want to get a sneak preview of it, go to SecKC's stream. I did a talk there on the same thing as well. There have been some updates, but it is pretty much going to be that talk with a couple more updates.
So you're gonna change the slides up?
Some of the slides I've been able to talk on or do this talk a couple more times. I did one specifically afterwards with KU's cybersecurity group, their master's group. So a bunch of master students asked me to come out and do the talk. And
It's always weird talking to people who are older than you, right?
some of them were. I thought it was ironic because I went into security because I dropped out of my master's program. Not like I wasn't doing well. I was doing fine. I finished my degree with honors, and most of that was because of my master's courses. But it was ironic because I'm like, I'm not a master's at all in any of this, and I dropped out to go do this stuff.
Yeah.
Here's your existential crisis.
Hey, but in the same sense, you're making money, you're not incurring debt. I can't necessarily say the same for them. So
Yeah, definitely. I have a relative that has a bunch of college loan debt. And I'm like, shit. What the hell were you thinking?
it happens.
Yeah. So if you're in KC for besides KC, or you want to go to ShowMeCon, you'll be at ShowMeCon. I will be there doing a talk.
And I would be there recording shit, and may or may not give a talk depending on whether or not I have anything to speak on. Dude, I need to come up with new subject matters because I originally got hooked up with ShomiCon because Dave likes me a lot. Dave promised her, and and I gave talk the first couple cons, but then I just started recording because I have nothing new to say.
Say old stuff in a new way.
Do some research and find something new.
Maybe I'll come up with something. But yeah,
There you
ShomiCon is a great time. If you ever get, it's definitely one of my top 3 favorite cons, especially since BuildingCon is no longer around. It's definitely in my top 3.
That's cool. Where's it located?
St. Louis, or it's technically St. Charles.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a suburb.
Yes, a suburb of St. Louis. But St. Charles, I don't know. People tell me various parts of St. Louis aren't safe to walk around. But I've walked all around St. Charles and felt pretty damn safe. Then again, I'm like a 6'3", pudgy dude.
Teddy bear.
Has some muscle. No one fucks with me. But it's in St. Charles, technically. It's a nice place.
Nobody messes with Caprico either whenever he wears a big, huge coat.
He's got reach on everybody.
That's true. He could be slow, though.
I don't know. I've never been in a fight with Caprico. Well, I have to do a boxing match later on, Caprico.
Oh, sweet, finally.
Show me, Con.
The fight of the century.
Hey, yeah, we need to sell additional tickets for this one. I like where this is going.
Someone in the audience be screaming, "Yo, Adrian! Yo, Adrian!
Adrian! Yes. I mean, Adrian's going to have the biggest audience ever.
And there'll be some people there for Caprico, too.
Yeah, and there's going to be some Adrian haters who will definitely be rooting for
They'll be rooting for Caprico.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Adrian. I'll help train you. I'll give you some tips.
Just a tip.
I mean, that comes later in celebration, but you know.
Yeah, Cappy's over here like, what the? Come on, where's my tips?
I got nothing. I'm gonna have to go in just swinging.
Caprico can easily win, though. He's got reach on me and he's got age, so you know I'm supposed to be winded way before Caprico.
Yeah, but we didn't say we were only boxing. I mean, if it goes down, you know, you got weight advantage too, so you can definitely use that to your advantage.
Well, if he's dumb enough to stand still long enough for me to sit on him, maybe. But
I mean, I'll tell you, as a dude who had my lightest, I'm 6'2", my lightest I was 250 pounds. Weight advantage is a big one with grappling because with smaller dudes, if I could get them in a position, I could later just lay on them and wait for them to gas out. Okay, yeah, you're tired. All right, now I can do what I want to do.
Yeah. And good evening, Philip.
This is a strange conversation since I really like Caprico and I would never.
Well, what's funny is you guys.
No, it'd be for charity.
Yeah, right.
I do charity boxing match with Caprico.
Dude, hacks for kids. If you want us to box, dude, seriously, I would actually do that. Like just a fun little boxing match in the middle of ShomiCon. Hacks for kids, mental health. I'm just
imagining both of you going up and be like, "Ow, ow!"
Oh, dude. Nah, I had to spar with my youngest brother. No, my youngest brother. Who is?
There's one younger than you.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, he's like 8 now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, he's actually starting college. It's weird.
Yeah. His name is actually Doogie Howser.
Yeah, right.
8.
No, but he is a black. He stopped doing it, but he's a black belt in karate, and then he also picked up kickboxing throughout his tenure of doing karate.
Did he pick up anything that was ground oriented?
And can he kick your ass?
Oh, he can. He flipped me. The first time I came back from Europe, he flipped me like this and had my head like this and was also supporting me with his other hand.
Yeah, to make sure you didn't die.
Yeah, because there was a cement floor right there.
That was very nice of him.
Yeah. Very courteous, very courteous.
That would have been really cool, though, to see an 8-year-old do that.
Yeah, it's weird. But he
hold up my own brother. My brother's a big dude. I had to be like Dave Bautista to be able to pick my brother up. He's a huge dude.
Yeah.
I can pick him up, but he is about, I think he's about 220, and he's just stacked, like farm muscle kind of build.
Yeah, he's way
Built like
bigger
a
than you.
brick shit house.
Mm-hmm. Like you can't move
cinder
him.
block.
Yeah, he makes he makes bodybuilders look tiny next to him. We all kind of do, but that's just because we're tall.
Stinking race of giants.
All right, how's everybody else doing? Anybody else have any intros or anything they want to announce?
I'll be at B-Sides Atlanta later this month. I don't think it's all that big. Yeah, I don't think it's that big though. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been to some conferences in Atlanta, but never been to B-Sides Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Who's Your HackerCon? The CFP is still open. So
Yes.
people who want to submit stuff.
CFP.
And they're working on getting the speaker bios up there. And a few people who have been pre-accepted as keynote speakers are, folks like Charles has, and Caprico has submitted, and I'm pretty sure since I sleep with one of the organizers of that conference, Caprico will be accepted. We got some other people. Apparently, we also signed some paperwork. What's his name? Graham Payne, the CSO of Equifax, when they had the breach. He's going to be one of the speakers.
Whoa, really?
Really?
Yes.
Jinx.
Wow, that's gonna be.
Will there be a heckling time?
time?
Yeah.
No.
Will there be a question and answer?
Well, just because you're the
What
guy
were you thinking?
just because you're the guy in charge doesn't mean it's your fault.
Exactly.
Yes, it does. You're the one who takes the blame. That makes it your fault.
Well, ultimately kind of does.
With that big of a corporation, though, you're gonna be.
Yeah,
unless it was like
The designated scapegoat.
Yeah, and two, that's why I think it'll be really interesting to hear him speak, because I bet you a lot of that talk is going to be wrapped around where there were, just safeguards not in place, where such and such was allowed to happen, and it was signed off as acceptable risk.
And probably not a talk that's going to be recorded, so that's more the reason for people to attend. Luckily, we have plenty of restaurants nearby, and it's in southern Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky is right across the river if you want to walk across the bridge.
Yeah. Go follow Who's Your Hacker on Twitter, by the way, so that when tickets go live, you know. Because I had to figure that out. It's like, do we have tickets up? And it's like, no, Mayday.
I wonder what would happen if I walked in without a ticket. Adrian would beat me with a stick.
Nah, I'd be more worried about who's running security. Just
That would be
doing-
Lynn. Lynn is running. Leonard Isham is running security.
Wasn't Ricky gonna be?
Oh, I know him.
Helping with security as well.
Ricky didn't have time to do it, so he stepped down, and Leonard Isham is doing it.
Cool. Very, very nice. He
He's cool. He's an asshole like me.
Yes.
He's a good asshole like you, though.
And now that he has his Jeep, talks about Jeeps a lot.
Oh man, it's one of those
Yeah,
guys.
Jeep people. I don't get
Yes.
the Jeep fixation. Like my buddy Stacy, she's into Jeeps really big, and I got to see her for a very brief time at B-Sides Tampa this last weekend. I finally gave her a Hedgie coin because that
Nice.
Latveria apparently Latvia. Wait,
Latvia.
one is Dr. Doom's homeland. One is an actual country. I'm trying to remember which one's which. Latvia, I believe, is the actual real country. They have hedgehogs in some of their coins. So I bought like 3 of the coins, gave one to Caroline, old coworker of mine, kept one for myself.
Sweet Caroline?
Crazy.
Yes.
Is that Sweet Caroline?
That was really off key.
It would be funny if Caroline was up next to Cappy, because she is, let's say, not tall, and Cappy is. She'd go like halfway up his entirety.
Yeah, but yeah, it gave one to Caroline because she had a pet hedgehog at some point in time. She may still have one, as far as I know. Unfortunately, normal hedgehogs don't live that long, like 4 or 5 years. Stacy is at least 25 years old, and she's been around for quite a while.
It's a mutant hedgehog.
Yeah, she's a mutant. Stacy is a mutant hedgehog.
Either that or her hedgehog kept dying and she kept replacing it with similar ones and not telling anyone.
All right.
Yeah, I mean that's what parents do. So
Exactly.
well, except for dogs. Like you can get away with that with fish and small things, hamsters, but not necessarily dogs and cats. Easily. Okay, what else? How's everybody's week been?
Oh, my week's been pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Adrian, how's your week been?
Other than being a little bit ill, coming back from B-side Tampa, it's been okay.
Nice. Cappy?
IR started on a Sunday. There you go.
Sorry about that.
Israel?
Friday was freaking awesome. So I had a birthday and went to throw axes with a lot of local friends.
Well, that's fun. That's fun shit.
That was a stupid amount of fun. Like never gone axe throwing before. After maybe 2 or 3 throws, kind of got the rhythm down, and that was a crazy amount of fun.
See, my uncle and my dad were both in the black powder shooting.
Yeah.
So axe throwing is something I picked up when I was a little kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I shoot a lot and have over the years, but never picked up an axe and thrown it. So, yeah, it was enjoyable. If anybody has not done it, go do it sometime. It's a ton of fun.
I was with some friends in Wisconsin, and we went out to go do that, and they're trying to show me how to do it, and I'm like, I'm going through the motion with them, and then I let off my first one, and I fucking hit the bullseye right there, and I was like, very first throw, hit the bullseye. I was amazed, and then I didn't hit another one for like 15 more shots.
Yeah. I mean, and that happens sometimes too, right? So, but yeah, it was fun. And anybody can, you probably need to be above, I don't know if you can sneak your kids in, but any adult can do it. Yeah. So.
And if you go to a black powder event, the kids regularly are out there doing the tomahawk throwing. That's what I did when I was a kid.
Nice.
I have a bunch of like forged H&B Forge makes a lot of nice tomahawks that I have a collection of because of my uncle passed away and I inherited them.
I have a gold-plated tomahawk from a time past, but that is upstairs. And I only open it like once a year to look at it and make sure it's not getting any tarnish or nothing on it.
All right, let's go into the breach report.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got?
We have ransomware attacks hundreds of LaSalle County government computers. Hundreds of them. So this one and the one below it are both part of the same thing. So I'm going to go through this one first. But so LaSalle County, which is I don't know where in the United States, was hit with a ransomware attack discovered by the sheriff's office somehow around 3:30 in the morning. The county's IT director said the virus is locking up about 200 computers and 40 servers. It's a bit a week, and they still do not have access to their email. And, yeah, I guess their recovery efforts are not going that well. He says it's a big endeavor we're going through. They're not giving in to the hackers' demands. They're not paying the ransom. They're blowing away the computers and doing restores from backups, which is good. It could take months to try and decrypt just one file. Apparently, that's how long it takes if you don't have the ransom. So the ransom that was actually used in this case was Pwned Locker. And this ransomware is mentioned in the next little link here. They're the ones behind it. And it was in Illinois, by the way, because I couldn't figure out where the hell that was from the other article. They're demanding 50 Bitcoin or $442,000 for a decryptor. They have no plans of paying the ransom, like I said, but this ransomware is nothing special. It does the typical net stop commands and then uses VSS admin to delete shadow copies, and it encrypts all the .exe and DLL and link files and icon files and MSI files and all that stuff. It has a bunch of exceptions, folders that it will not encrypt. Weirdly enough, one of them is DVD Maker, which is just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, stuff from like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, why would you put that in your exceptions list? It uses two different extensions. It'll either use key or, I like this one, pwned extension, depending on the victim. Bleeping Computer, they did a good analysis on this, and of course it has a how to recovery files text file. Not how to recover files, but how to recovery files text file. So obviously probably not somebody who speaks English as a first language wrote this. And they send you to a Tor address where it asks you to pay your ransom, and the ransom itself, it doesn't have any identifier that you send with the ransom. It's just the amount of Bitcoin that you're asked to pay. Lets them know which victim it is. So that's kind of interesting that you don't put anything in there to let them know that you paid it, other than paying that particular amount. And it says don't include the transaction fee, so that I guess that way they can know who to pay with the ransom. But they're the ones who claim that they encrypted that particular LaSalle County network. So
Interesting.
that is, yeah. The next one we've got is Visser Precision. These guys make Tesla parts and Boeing parts and parts for a bunch of other big name manufacturers, and they were hit quite recently with ransomware. So this one encrypts and steals data. Leaked data includes non-disclosure agreements and proprietary data. Secrets, all the good shit.
Yes.
So this one is Doppelpaymer, which is similar to Maze ransomware in that it not only Doppelpayer, Paymer. So it encrypts and exfiltrates data. So if you don't pay, they threaten to sell your files to the highest bidder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that. Backup strategies are starting to become better across the board. Still not everybody has good backup strategies in DR and actually practice restoration. But as we start to see more people with more effective backup strategies, I think we're going to start seeing it go from ransom and doing what these guys are doing, making it available for auction. So.
Also, a couple of the bigger ones like R Evil and Ryuk. Oh wait,
Ryuk doesn't, I don't think.
I know R Evil has started to do that as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because why are they doing the ransoms?
Make money.
Exactly. So
if they're paid,
not making money, they're going to figure out a new way to make money.
If you don't get paid, you can just sell off the information that you have. I mean, information is currency.
Yes. To the appropriate buyer. That's why eBay exists.
Yeah.
Okay, back to you, Frank.
Back to me. So the website that hosts their stolen files said there's a lot more files to be published if they refuse to pay the ransom, and they are refusing to pay. So it's interesting to see what will get sold. This particular group has been active since mid last year, And they've also gotten the Chilean government, Pemex, Mexico state-owned petroleum company. But apparently they make most of their money by data stealing, not by ransoms getting paid. So
Yeah.
that's a little different than some of the other ones.
Yep.
Which would make sense, though, because if I were to just want to go out and grab information, and if they have all this tracking and whatever that's in Windows event logs or whatever, why don't I just encrypt all that stuff, and they have to completely re-image those devices? So that not only covers my tracks, but if they don't have backups, I get more money. So it's a win-win either way.
Yeah.
Win, and then slightly better win.
And remember, this isn't for you guys. This is for anybody listening. Downgrade your users. Don't let them have local admin access. Downgrade them to power users at the highest on Windows. Protect the shit out of your privileged domain accounts. If you can do a PAM solution, do it. Because right there is going to help avoid a boatload of the ransomware, as well as keeping your systems patched. So they can't just go straight in, get system access, and go from there.
And it's pretty trivial if you give access to a power user to install programs to get system from there.
Correct. Right. And two, there are solutions out there that allow, even like lapse.
Yep.
You can give a user a lapse password that's kind of like a one-time use.
That stands for local admin privileges, right?
Yes. Yeah. It is within Active Directory, and I know there are a lot of people who don't like lapse because it's stored in clear text in AD. But if somebody has already accessed Active Directory, your company's already pwned anyway. So, yeah. But if you do install lapse, you give them the access, one-time access to be able to upgrade or do something on the system, that's perfectly fine. But because there are a lot of security individuals who have issues with lapse since the information is stored in clear text in AD. So I'm not one of them. I am an advocate of lapse. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can heighten that security posture of your organization. Okay, off the soapbox.
I like the soapbox. You should stay there.
Yeah, it's okay sometimes.
It makes you a little taller, too.
Yeah, but then I'm still only like half the height of Caprico, so.
Wow, great joke. Very fun.
But, okay.
All right. So the next one we have is this legal service agency. They're apparently a very big one. They have been, of course, attacked by ransomware, because that's what we're talking about right now in this segment. Equip Global. And apparently they were still rocking Windows 7. And nothing was up to date. And
nice.
Yeah. So don't really need to get much more into that one. But if you're still rocking Windows 7, yeah, you should probably upgrade that to Windows 10 if you can.
And I do speak with a lot of different companies. A lot of companies, thankfully, the majority of companies are getting towards the end of Windows 7 migrations that I have spoken to. I've had one company that were kind of like a deer in the headlights, unfortunately. But I've had very few that are fully migrated. So it's still one of those work in progresses. But I think here soon it's now granted, once we start talking about POSs, ATM machines, stuff like that, have fun. It's probably going to be another 2-3 years before we see those move away from Windows 7.
I'd almost say a decade.
And
well, I'm still.
When I was Googling the Equip Global to see if I could find more articles on it, I came across Glassdoor for it, and I clicked it, and they're now looking for a new head of security, which I found was pretty funny.
And Windows 7, that was end of life on January 14th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been manually remoting it to my mom's computer and giving her Windows 7 updates because they still put them out there. But you need to kind of futz around with the registry a little bit before you can put them in.
Yeah, I gave a lecture here recently for security for seniors at this I guess it wasn't exactly a retirement home or whatever it was. And one of the seniors there was asking about what Unix or Linux like operating system to go with. I just told him to probably go with Ubuntu. What would your opinion be of a end user Linux distribution?
Go with Windows 12.
Eat shit.
Yeah. No, someone actually, there is a project called Windows 12 that basically builds a clone of Windows that runs on the Linux kernel. So they're fixing the stuff that's wrong in 10.
But if you
I
tell
would say
someone
Mint.
to go with a particular Linux distribution and it's an end user,
Mhm.
what would you recommend?
Linux Mint.
Oh, Mint is pretty easy to use, yeah.
Yeah, Mint is. It's always kind of been. Their kind of mission was to make it so that it was a user-friendly interface, and it's also it's very similar to Windows. You can do all this fun Linux crap that you can.
Yeah, they use Cinnamon, right?
Yeah.
Gotta keep in mind, I'm a boomer at heart.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's Cinnamon. I think it's GNOME.
Well, I mean,
Do they?
it's kind of light and refreshing, and it smells good.
Mm-hmm.
I used to use Mint. Man, it's probably been like 15 years, but I did.
If you want to go into a little further, go into like Debian. If you want to just kill all of your wants and desires to use Linux, go find Arch.
and two, if you want something with all the stuff kind of pre-compiled, it has your spreadsheets, your Word, well, not Word, but whatever.
LibreOffice, basically.
Yeah. What am I getting ready to say?
Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Although there are alternatives to LibreOffice as well that are pretty decent.
OpenOffice used to be good. Are they do anything with that anymore?
I don't think it's been updated in a while.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. Because
OpenOffice team kind of split, and the most of the team used to be part of OpenOffice, now part of LibreOffice.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
LibreOffice is pretty good.
Yeah, because I used to run LibreOffice, and whenever I used it like in a professional context, and it was like 2 years there were no updates, and all of a sudden out of the blue, updates started pouring in. It's like, holy crap, like people resurrected it from the dead. So, and that was probably 3-4 years ago. It was nice though.
Yep.
Okay. Next
we
up,
have breaches.
Yeah, here's some breaches here. So French critical infrastructure firms have been hit. This is a Krebs report. So it's so-so. But 2018, security intelligence firm HYAS discovered malware network communicating with systems inside of French National Power Company. Malware was remote access Trojan, which focused on victims in the Middle East, but they were essentially using a dynamic DNS provider to sync all the malware's network control servers. Going on, fatal errors. Okay, copy. Yeah, so they go into some of the different areas that were being hit. So a Google search for the name reveals a similarity named individual has been created with a number of major software companies, including Apple, Dell, and Microsoft, security vulnerabilities in their products. But yeah, I just threw this on there because it looked like it was somewhat interesting. But it's a good, read if you have 3 or 4 minutes available. I don't even know why I threw that on there. Didn't really want to talk about. Next up. If especially over on YouTube, if you are familiar with the site, don't let us know. I wasn't familiar with it, and on Cast, if you are familiar with it, you don't have to let us know. So, OnlyFans, there was a potential leak, and apparently it's a website where people share a lot of information in the more private way.
It's a porn site, motherfucker.
From what I was looking at, it's not marketed as a porn site, but it seems like a lot of adult performers, yes, are on there. So, and it's one of those where you follow the people, you pay them. It said something like 80% of all payments go to the performer. So,
yeah, it's a porn site. I can confirm it's a porn site by my research skills.
I'm not
glad
lie.
you.
I'm a perv. Yes. I know about OnlyFans.
You have been able to research this article. Yes, excellent. But
What's between me and my midgets and the feet is no one else's business.
But so it's being claimed that there was a leak, which could have potentially been a breach. We'll see, because there's been about 2 or 3 sites so far that have come and gone advising that the leaked data was available for sale. But, different web hosts have taken the data down, so that can't be confirmed. But we shall see here in the upcoming days whether it actually gets on a site, potentially hosted outside the U.S. that nobody cares about. So we'll see.
There'll be a torrent of it. Don't worry.
Yeah. And the article does say that one link was circulating contained about 300 gigs of content and folders. But two, if you think about, video related data, 300 gigs is really
Not
not
that much.
So, yeah. And then it said
300 gigs of porn is a fair amount of porn.
Yeah, not by my standards.
Now with my friends.
Hey, he's got like a 10 terabyte filled with porn.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I've been very lonely.
But yeah,
a buddy of mine I was over at his place because we were trying to get a lab set up for class, and I saw we were looking through a bunch of his tools, looking at his NAS, looking at all that stuff, and on his NAS, he just LS blocks this one file, and I'm like, and it just says porn. I'm like, okay, whatever, you be you. But then I looked at how much it was. I'm like, it's a full terabyte, dude. How much do you need? I'm like, dude, stream. You don't need to download it.
He likes those really high 4K rips, He likes to be able to zoom in.
I'm not sure my current main system could do 4K. I don't know if it could process that.
I don't know, man.
Or maybe it was 3D.
Oh yeah, or they got the ones with the VR glasses now too.
Oh, that's
oh shit.
Adrian's like, I need to upgrade.
Yeah, I do need to upgrade, man. I still remember back in the day when you put it on things on floppies and floppies, it would process and it would slowly download. Like
they were floppy disks, but they got hard real quick.
It's slowly processing the image. It's AOL. Come on down. Oh, sorry.
I don't know. At that point, I'd probably think, just get the old school cable where they have the filters on, and the images are all scrambled. That's about the same.
Or go real old school and just go to the gas station real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, do they even? I haven't noticed. Do they
Yeah.
still sell at gas stations?
Not okay. So
Because I never go in gas stations. I pay with my credit card outside of the pump, and
yeah,
I'm out.
I don't think it's at gas stations.
Where are you going to get a
but
good hot dog?
Anywhere but a
but
gas station.
Yeah. If it's Casey's, you can get a good pizza, but that's because it was a pizza joint before it became a
Gas station.
gas station. And I've had it; it's good. But no, I think you have to go into like grocery stores, like Walmart's got them somewhere in the back. But,
Really?
Yeah, like in that one like books and magazines area.
Right.
I bet you could find some.
We're still streaming, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because someone tweeted saying that she thought she missed a stream, and I don't see a streaming icon.
Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're still
Okay.
streaming. I see my face on the
The
playback.
Graphic
Bluetooth.
glitch,
Yes.
graphic glitch on my end then.
Yeah, I can confirm we are still streaming.
There you go. Oh, I can too, but I'm the 1,000th person who just did so.
We
One
all
last
did it at once.
Yes, I have the power. Last thing in regard to the article sort. So that 300 gigs of content was sorted by pseudonyms. Pseudonym
Do they have a link to this?
stage names of around 120 models and social accounts. So
Now, did they actually have a breach, or did somebody just like decide to rip the site?
They
that's
don't know
what
yet.
we don't know yet. It could be somebody, staging, acting like they have the information. It could be somebody who actually has the information. We don't know. We just know information has been put out there, and it's been said that this data is from the OnlyFans site. So time will tell. Okay, last up on the breach report, we have, I assume this is called Lockbox, Loqbox, Lock. I hope. But Lockbox has been breached. And what they do, they help consumers build their credit. Unfortunately, they were breached. So they help consumers with patchy credit histories build a credit score by building a digital voucher, essentially a loan, and then repaying it by saving a set amount into a lockbox account each month. But they've been hit with a cyber attack in which the hackers access both customer personal data such as address and phone number, and in some cases their payment history. So the company who is helping you increase your credit score has now allowed hackers to access your payment data. Therefore, they can go use your credit cards and do all kinds of fun stuff and wreck your credit score. So that sucks for anybody who was in this position. Let's see. In some cases, hackers have also accessed some of the following types of financial information: the first 6 and last 4 digits of a customer's 16-digit card number, the customer's card expiration date, the sort code used by customers to unlock their lockbox, 2 digits of the bank account number used to make payments to lockbox. So they didn't get the full 16 character, 16, right? Yeah. Digit credit card number, but they did enough that they can probably figure it out. Because if you have the first 6 numbers, that is the primary bank. If you can figure out where they're at, that's the kind of home bank. Because with credit cards, you have, like say with Chase. So Chase, the first few numbers is going to be Chase. The second few numbers is going to be location orientation. and then you have a few numbers past that. So, I mean, you could kind of brute force 1 cent payments against that because you got last 4 digits, first 6, and you're only talking 6 characters, 6 numbers past that. So, yeah, that could be brute force with penny charges. So, yep, it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. Anybody got anything on there?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
I'm doing research into that OnlyFans thing.
Oh God.
Hashtag research. Yeah.
Hashtag
I mean, I
research.
actually did go to the site. Like, you have to sign up for the site. But I
Not
went
that
to the
kind of
site.
research.
Yeah. But I did go to the site. Oh, okay. So you're doing real research, not like Adrian research. But, I mean, Adrian said it. Come on. But you had to, or they, it seemed like a decent site, especially, it seemed like what is Paint whenever Twitch? It kind of reminded me like of a Twitch. But
And that's what 90% of
maybe,
what you would find.
yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I figured there are some of the adult-oriented things, but it reminded me more like a Twitch.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean it's not the I know Mary doesn't have one, but a lot of the women that are on there are typically featured on Twitch.
Mm.
So they have the clean side where people watch them play games and they'll think they're pretty attractive, so they'll charge like $10 a month and you get access to however much they feel comfortable with showing.
The not so clean side.
Um, I mean, it just all depends. Like I know I have one friend that it's pretty much it, if you ask for it, it's all she'll put pictures up there of everything, and then another one it'll be essentially just bikini photos.
Oh, okay.
It's like private Snapchat as a service in a centralized location.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's, not deleted immediately type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had never heard of it till tonight, and then I was like, okay, let's see. Okay, next up, vulnerable stuff.
Yeah. So, Explorer.exe now with Ransom. Where? So, kind of ransomware, kind of not. So, Windows Explorer was used by the Mail2 ransomware to evade detection. And essentially what this does is using the Windows Explorer, so you just, like your File Explorer or whatever, it will inject code into your or the Explorer.exe, and then it will be a DOS program that will, it will be a base 64 encrypted ransom note that shows up after the code is injected into it at a byte level. And then it will just encrypt it as normal as we've seen with other forms of ransomware. But I threw this one in there as vulnerable stuff because this is it just put this in, like, you're already on the system. This is a way to pivot. So now that you know this, research should be done into say, hey, what if I use Explorer to start looking at other files that I don't have access to as like a penetration tester? Kind of going into that same mindset. Or can I pop a shell through Explorer to evade Windows Defender, Sophos, AV, whatever? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily using Explorer. They're injecting into Explorer, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but to inject into Explorer, then you still need system-based access. So,
And if you've got system-based access, you can pretty much do everything
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say in this article if they were. Oh, hey, Israel, you're gonna like this.
I
Well, there are a
always
lot
do.
of Process hollowing is used.
Oh,
Yeah,
bastards.
yeah. So they figured that out. So there you go.
And
And that's an
anybody who
older.
doesn't know, process hollowing is a very, very, very effective means of bypassing any EDR out there. Um, I mean, to actually get to the point to do it, you're probably going to get caught in one way or another. But once you have hollowed out, essentially process hollow, because to detect it, it just takes a stupid amount of system resources because um, with hollowing, essentially you have process A, and then you pause that process, inject into it, and now you're running as that, essentially straight out of memory. And to be able to continuously, like all the time, check that memory space just takes an insane amount of resources that no company can afford. So nobody right now is good with hollowing um, from an EDR perspective, and it really is an effective way of moving and being able to do things within a system without getting caught, but still getting to the point where you can effectively pull off a hollow is very difficult.
Yep.
Okay, back to you, Cap.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah, because we were talking about process hollowing, what, like a year and a half ago?
longer.
How's that different than just injecting into a process?
Because just injecting into the process, that's still going to get caught. The actual injection occurs. But hollowing, you are now running straight out of memory. And there is no way, unless you are looking 100% at that memory space, to be able to see what is actively still occurring. And even with hollowing, it's different from an injection. With an injection, you're forcibly going in. With hollowing, you are pausing a process and then moving behind it and then starting that process back up. So even though it seems very similar from, a detection perspective and how the memory space works, they're like two completely separate things.
Yep.
Yeah.
So threw that in there. Thought it would be fun. Not a whole lot more in the show notes because I've been very busy dealing with work stuff for vulnerable stuff. But yeah, old attack, new ransomware, newer. So these guys know what they're doing.
And two, the good thing with hollowing though is it is difficult. So from an attack perspective, I mean, it is very difficult to do. So that's the one good thing is that it is so difficult to do and make, essentially streamline it. Now, making it against a singular system, not too hard. Making it against something that can move throughout an organization, very, very difficult. So, but within the next, I'd say, year to 2 years, that difficulty is going to lessen. People are going to become more effective at it, and we are definitely going to see it rise. And we're going to have to figure out some way to detect it, because right now, I don't know of anybody who can. Okay.
I bet John McAfee could do it.
Oh, hell yeah, he could. Hookers and blow. That's John McAfee. Next up, as usual, unless Caprico wants to. Caprico, you want to hit the weekly bulletin some, or just
Go for it.
Well, if I hit it, I'm going to say we post the weekly bulletin. Check it out. What it is are U.S. CERT, a lot of the vulnerabilities that have been identified. Just keep up with it. Be aware of the vulnerabilities that are within your organization. For the criticals and highs, potentially do an out-of-band patch. And then for the regular ones, take them into your regular patch management process. And as I always stress, this does include networking gear, because network admins, from my experience, do not like to patch networking gear. If I am to talk to an organization and they are really, really happy because their firewalls and their, main routers and core switches have not had to be rebooted in a year and a half. There's some major security flaws there. So make sure that you are patching your networking gear too. But it really does. It goes through a lot of different things, especially things that are used within a corporate environment. So, okay, next up, info data stats, ransomware victims. Who was this? Frank?
Which one is it? 1 second. Yep, that was me. 1 second.
I'll give you 3.
2, 1. Ransomware victims are paying out millions a month. One particular version has cost them the most. All right, so this is a little article I found, which I thought was interesting, so I popped it in here. Over 6.5 years, ransomware victims have handed out vast amounts of bitcoins to Crook. Some of the variants of the malware have generated more ransom than others. So far, victims have paid over $140 million to crooks in the last 6.5 years, according to the FBI, who calculates these things. And obviously, I'm sure their calculations are very, very accurate. So the FBI special agent in the Global Operations and Targeting Unit told people at RSA conference ransoms worth $144.35 million were paid between January of 2013 and July of 2019. And the FBI looked at ransoms paid in Bitcoin, so the actual figure is likely to be even higher, although Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency of choice for cyber extortionists.
Well, I mean, but these are only the ones that have been reported.
Exactly. That's why I said I'm sure it's very accurate.
Yeah.
Ryuk was the leading ransomware variant, generating roughly $61 million.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine writing some ransomware and making $61 million off of it? That's pretty.
I mean, I
impressive.
can, but I also then
I wouldn't do it, but I can imagine
federal pound me in the ass prison though too. So I'd have to move.
I'm currently looking at something that I could write with my eyes closed, and it would make me. I have to look, but at least a couple $100,000 a week.
Well, the next one was Crisis/Dharma.
Yeah.
That generated $24 million. BitPaymer generated about $8 million, while SamSam generated about $6.9 million. A huge chunk about SamSam.
I miss SamSam.
About 64 million of that ransom has passed through virtual currency exchanges as crooks look to cash out. Roughly 37 million remains in wallets as unspent Bitcoin. In terms of how ransomware attacks begin, RDP on the internet, right? 70 to 80% of incidents.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What idiots are still putting RDP on the internet? A lot.
I really wish a lot of these were telnet, exposed to the internet.
Those are the ones that tell you.
Yeah, because they're net.
Uh-huh.
So it's brute force because they're really, really bad passwords, and there are complex passwords that are just reused everywhere and end up on a cracking list. So if you're cracking RDP, you're going to make some money, right? Anyway.
Or
the human readable passwords, he said, is also a step towards halting ransomware. If you can tell your password to someone in under 30 seconds, it's probably not a secure password. Really? 30 seconds? That's one hell of a password, man.
Dude, 20 characters.
It's a long freaking password.
I don't know. I've never told somebody a password, so
You haven't? Why don't you tell me one now so that you...
I use password managers.
So do I. I'm using LastPass for freaking everything.
Yeah, I generate like 50 character passes, then I just don't care.
Yeah, and then I'm on a mobile device and I need to use my password, and LastPass mobile is a pain in my ass because it asks for your password every couple of minutes. Yes. And it's like, this is not practical.
Well, I mean, but how many things do you need a password for on your phone?
Well, I have it synced with like my Google stuff. So if I
Yeah,
want,
for sure.
I want to go to a site that I go to online, like not my bank, obviously, but something else, and it requires a password. I've
Yeah,
generated a random password for that, so now I have to have LastPass to give me that random password.
yeah.
But it makes you log back into it like every hour. So and I have a really strong password on it, which is like 8 words, but you still have to type that out every time you want to get it. It's a pain in the ass.
I'm checking if it's here.
My password's not there. Don't worry.
No. I'm checking because I don't use LastPass on like any of my like I use in like only on the desktop password manager for work, and I'm wondering if they have. Yeah, they do. Maybe waiting to see if it gets pulled up here. Da, 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 da.
You're
It's
looking.
early access, so no on that.
Oh, okay.
Um, sadly, but yeah, no, like I use that, and then when I have to sync all my emails to my phone, yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but it's still like I'd rather it be a pain in the ass than me reusing passwords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because like me on my cell phone, if I do use LastPass, it's maybe at most time per day. It's
Mhm.
not something I frequently do.
Or if you do the following steps that I've done and have told people to do with the lockdown mode, um, as long as someone can't get your PIN code and you're using biometrics and you put your phone in the lockdown mode and you set LastPass to let you use biometrics, then it's not as much of a big deal.
Wait, LastPass supports biometrics on the app?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know
Is,
that.
is that paid or unpaid?
Unpaid.
Oh, okay.
I'm not giving them money.
But then too, you got to remember biometrics.
Yes, which is why I
And
specify.
say, yeah, but with the biometrics, then you can be ordered to utilize those biometrics to unlock a phone too.
Not if I put it in lockdown mode.
Then it won't work with biometrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
How do you put
Because
your
now
phone in lockdown mode?
you have to, and for Android, it's a setting that I've talked about this before, but it's a setting that you have to enable after you unlock your phone. But then when you go to power off, you'll see after you enable that, you'll see that lock there, and that'll put it in lockdown mode, which means that only a PIN code or a password will open it. So
pretty cool.
it's something you know versus something you are. So it'll
What
only
about
go
something
to
you
that.
have?
I am a B-52 bomber.
Well, I'm an Apache attack chopper.
Yeah, that's all cool and all, but I fly a lot higher.
Well, I'm a fat bastard.
I have bigger missiles.
Get in my belly.
Now, depends on the B-52.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on.
Bigger missiles, you have bigger bombs.
Yes.
You a fatty.
Oh yeah.
Should just start making analogies for every time that someone gets hit with ransomware where they are like, okay, you got hit with the B-52 that was holding the atomic nuke. It's like, oh, these guys, they got hit with the Apache special. Or the Apache attack chopper special.
The Apache special. That sounds
That's gonna
very
that's why
flavorful.
I changed it immediately. No one clip that, please. And it's clipped.
I see no biometric option for LastPass in the Android app. You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. I'm gonna open it up right now.
It's making shit up.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna unlock my phone, but
Liar.
Hey, unlock with biometrics.
What the fuck? Where is that? All right, I'll find it. I don't have that option.
Are you on a Samsung?
Update your damn phone.
No, I'm
Update
on
the
a
app,
different phone.
Hey, well, and Cappy, what brand
S9.
phone?
Yeah, so mine's a Samsung S9.
I'm not going to say it definitely is, but it could be something that
To do with the
Samsung
phone.
has
Yeah,
enabled.
I got a Pixel 3.
Yeah, that should be able to do it though, because you would have the more up to date
I have a
version
fingerprint
than
reader.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely be able to do it, unless there's some other things that you've got in the background that are making it not do that, which
No,
is
it's not
fine.
rooted. I found it. It's buried deep in the menu.
Mhm.
I found it. All right.
Yeah, it asked me when I installed it, so I'm like, okay.
All
It's
right.
like I've got lockdown
good
mode,
now.
so I don't feel bad about it. Just gonna real quick do a sleight of hand and put my phone in lockdown if
Oh,
stuff hits
Cappy,
the
you
fan.
just saved me some serious headache.
Mhm. You can do that. I'm not saying if it's a good idea or not, but
I don't do anything illegal where they're going to stop me and ask to see my phone, so I think I'll be fine.
yeah. My thing would be is like if someone's trying to take your phone, put it in lockdown if they have. But I mean, at that point, I mean, we've got something in other stuff that I actually want to hit on.
You're not
Um,
allowed. We're done with the show notes now. We're talking about other things.
We got fun stuff, other stuff tonight.
Yeah.
We should change other stuff to fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Fun stuff. There we go. That actually ended.
It's not even just a fun. It's a double fun.
It's a fun stuff. Jailbreak an iPhone using an Android, but now.
So,
I saw this on Reddit.
do you guys know what the but is?
What is the
What?
So the but is it does not survive a restart.
Reboot. Okay.
Yeah.
So context, I actually have. So we recently had.
Okay, Data.
Yeah. God dang, that was bad. Words. English. Sorry, I'm tired.
How badly does it not survive? Does it like blue screen? Well, the equivalent, or is
No.
it...
The
so
phone
just-
would be perfectly fine. It just completely X's out the rooting. So
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's like a
Back to
one-time use root.
Yeah, so if you keep it plugged in and you don't ever turn that off, you don't update it, which if you're jailbreaking a phone, you don't want to update it. It's jailbroken.
Yeah.
But what you can do is just have it sitting on chargers and all that other fun stuff. I have to try this on an older version. These guys did the iOS, I think this is iOS 13, if I want to look at it real quick. But it doesn't recognize the benefit of putting it in DFU mode. Well, that's your problem. I'm pretty sure that these go up to the latest release-ish that had a jailbreak, so it goes up to 13. We were jailbreaking devices that were on 12.3, and we were running into the same issue as well, where it just wouldn't hold the jailbreak. But you can easily, if you have a Mac available and the checkrain software there, you can just jailbreak it the same way that you just did. It just kind of is a pain if it happens, but
yeah.
So it's a temporary jailbreak.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
it's
kinda
not
neat.
a permanent one, but you can still get all of your stuff. I had a lot of fun with like, cool, I'm going to nmap the network from my phone. It actually does it.
I was looking here because part of that has to do with checkrain too, though. And checkrain essentially is an eternal beta. I don't know if anything ever will go to full release. I think it will always be beta, but we'll see. But part of it also has to do with what checkrain does support and what they're saying.
And they've been keeping up with the different versions as they come out.
Yeah.
So the most current version is all for iOS 13. They do have stuff for iOS like 12 or a little bit below, but they're not actively supporting it. So it might work. if you have one like mine where it's a little older, you just have to straight up download something, or like straight up like from the iPhone store or from a sketchy web link, go do it, which I'm going to be trying here in a bit, and I'll let you know how that goes.
My iPhone has ransomware on it.
That would actually, I wouldn't be mad because now I have a project.
Or if your iPhone became a Bitcoin miner, or just a general miner.
All right, okay? So do you guys know why Android has a flashlight app now?
Because idiots kept downloading shitty flashlight things and
because they were Bitcoin miners.
Yeah,
so
back miners.
Yeah. Back in like 2010 onward, the flashlight apps that you would download, they would have inside, and this is when Google had no idea how to protect people from putting malware on their stuff. Funny. Yeah, and iOS was the same way. If you downloaded a sketchy app off of the Apple Store or the Play Store, you downloaded a sketchy app, and now your phone's a Bitcoin miner. And back then, it would actually make you money.
Yeah.
Now it just make you look funny.
Oh, Charles got jokes.
No, people want to realize, like, look, like when,
or you just straight up tell them like Brave, where it's like, yeah, we're mining currency behind this. So that we can support that.
Yeah, I mean, there are legitimate applications that do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I'm okay with it.
So I'm not necessarily, but there are people who are okay with that. But if you disclose that, so what?
Yeah.
Go do it.
Clearly disclose. Like, don't put it in the terms of service and whatever.
No. Nobody reads that.
Or have an option where either you mine coin, you know, while you are utilizing the app, or we show you ads. You know, give an option like that, you know? That would be sweet.
That actually would be sweet.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. Because if you're on like a Raspberry Pi and you just want to use that browser,
yeah. Yeah, because, you know, even any of the games on the phones, right? Like, are they going to be utilizing the full CPU, full memory? No.
Depends on the game.
On a phone? Unless you got a really crappy phone.
COD Mobile, dude. Probably. I'd have to look.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Like Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah, but they already make a shit ton of money. They don't
need
to mine.
The funny thing about that though is someone put up a hack, and their hack was, so for this exploit, this guy just goes and exploits video game, like game mechanics and whatever, to make shit really funny. And he's like, all right, so I've got this Bluetooth keyboard that I've now paired with my phone. God damn it.
Nice.
And he actually found someone else that was doing the exact same thing because he saw them like flick so fast in a COD mobile game. like, oh god. It's like,
well, I mean, I got stuff where I can hook my phone up and then hook HDMI and throw my phone over to web, and it's got a USB interface, so I can do keyboard, mouse, and do all that crap straight off my phone.
Well, now with everything moving to USB-C, actually.
Yeah.
My bag's all the way over there.
And to its USB-C, so.
Yeah. I've got a USB-C dongle. I actually want to try this now, but...
Hey, this is the second time we've heard dongle tonight. I just want to point that out.
Dongle!
You want to know about dongles, just look at Charles's backpack. Holy cow.
Oh, it is filled with dongles.
Dude, that thing was...
It was what was it dongled up?
No, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I have dongles for days.
That's awesome. Thank you, Charles. That brings in some very, very, very weird thoughts.
Questionable thoughts.
Yeah.
He's got the dongles. He's got the lotion.
You get a dongle. You get a dongle. Everybody gets a dongle.
Why are they all slippery? Oh, it's lotion.
Oh, no, he went there.
I love it. Oh my
Are
goodness.
you guys talking about touching Charles' slippery dongle?
We didn't quite go there. No.
Dickney.
Close. All right. This is actually an interesting. This next one, I actually thought was very interesting.
What's that?
John's mom.
Yeah. So yeah, John's
John
mom.
Strand's mom.
Yeah, so this is something I heard a few years back, but there's actually a decent write-up about it in Ars Techna. So I want to throw this on here just because I've heard the story probably like 2-3 times, and it is a very fun story. So John, obviously, and there's one of John's books. Oversees Black Hills Black Hills Security.
Uh-huh.
And
They have the best stickers.
they do have good stickers. Now, if there was a little bit of gold on there, that would be even better. But there was one engagement where John sent his mom Rita into a prison and equipped Rita with rubber duckies to compromise the prison.
Yeah.
I mean,
We actually.
first off, whoa, who does that to their mother? But two, that's
It was her idea.
Yeah. That was something that when I first started getting into this and I was explaining it to my parents, my mom and I actually had this conversation on like, what would I might call you one day and just be like, yo, go break in somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, here's a letter of authorization.
Yeah.
You're my mom.
The sweet person, like, oh,
Yeah.
she would never be malicious.
Oh yeah.
You know, the best people for especially physical pen tests are the people that
And
look
email.
like the
Or sorry,
I mean, send your stinking grandpa and well, maybe not your grandpa if he is screaming out, get off my lawn every day, but an even tempered grandpa. But grandmas, your parents, oh my gosh, they can talk their way into anywhere, and nobody ever has a clue that they're you're utilizing them to come in and completely ransack an organization.
We would do this for phone phishing because with us on the phone, obviously my voice is not pleasant to listen to, nor if I'm telling you to go do something, you're not going to go do it.
That is accurate. Yes.
Yeah. And then I give advice on a podcast. Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
But no, what we would do is we would go and grab our project managers and we would give them scripts and just be like, all right, go do this.
Yeah.
I'm right here if you have questions. Just have it on speaker. I'll be quiet. If you have questions, I'll prompt you through it. And nailing CISOs left and right. Like, it was nuts. Like, C-suite. Yeah. Just, so good.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a fun story to read. And, Capco earlier threw it over into the YouTube. Check out the notes. Click on the link. Not a bad link. Not one of those. But it is a good story. And I enjoy every time I've heard it. I've heard it. John actually say it. I've heard revisions of it that go not necessarily true to topic from other people, but yeah, definitely fun stuff.
Gajo, Gajo.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I do want to give a shout out to the guys that do or that manage app.any.run.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. I've been using them for 3 years or so. It's nice.
Yeah. So we talked about it when you found it on the show. That saved me about 7 hours or so worth of analysis because of a Google search of someone putting up the exact same file hash that I was investigating.
Yeah.
And I was able to actually look and see like what this was, who it's from, and I could like grab all these other endpoints to be like, and I didn't even put the file hash into Google. I put the name of the file.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So thank you. You saved my ass.
Yeah. And to anybody who hasn't seen it before, I don't know, Caprico, have they upgraded it? Like before, you could run stuff within a Windows 7 environment and execute it.
I think you have to pay.
Like for free, but you could see all the registry markers, URL calls. I mean, just everything it was doing. It's essentially being able to have a manual sandbox and be able to source everything, which is really, really nice. And they probably still have it as just maybe a Windows 8 instance. I don't know, since Windows 7 is out of support now. But it is really nice for executing items within a Windows environment in a safe environment. You can look up hashes, like Caprico said, names of files, just all kinds of stuff. And at least that portion they throw up for free. And it's nice, especially from a IR perspective. If you're a security researcher, it's nice.
Yeah.
Are
this
you going to show it?
This one I hopefully can show. We'll see if this will work. All right, cool. Because I am using Firefox, but you can pretty much go through a timeline here to view the different screenshots. And like this is just a sample file to do this. And this opens up WinRAR. It does this. I can go in and look at all the different file hashes, EXIF data. I can straight up look at the hex data, all that fun stuff. And I could copy this out. I can download it, submit to analysis. What I also found that was actually really good for my investigation purposes was this text report that it gives you, where it kind of gives a more high level of this is what this is how this thing's working, and it goes a little bit more into detail as well. And it also shows what files are being accessed, what is it dumping, any network activity. It's going out to these guys, it's going out to these IPs. Throwing that into NetWitness, Investigator, Showed, and Census, all of your tools that you have for IR is amazingly simple.
Yeah. And
also this helps me a lot, and it also saves me a lot of time because I can just go ahead and run this if I have an IOC, if I have the file, all that fun stuff. So I think
Is that the pro version?
No, this is just the standard version. So now this
is
just
freebie.
Yeah, so right now this is just running on Windows 7 Professional Service Pack 1. So your basic, this is what got hacked, ransomware victim. And there's a couple of hot fixes in here, but not a lot. And it also has a bunch of the different programs that are here as well. So all that fun stuff. You can even grab the PCAP of it. It's nuts what you can do.
Yeah. And especially for free. I mean, I found this, and when I was a security admin, this was invaluable. I mean, it was so nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have
I was kind of only half paying attention. What tool is this that we're looking at now?
Any.run.
Oh, I know AnyRun. Is this still AnyRun you're on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are still talking about that just because it's that good.
Yeah.
And you can dance. Ow!
You can dance.
Yeah. Hey,
No.
are you guys having the time of your life?
I am. Woo!
See that girl.
Damn right.
Also, kind of a brief update on the Docker stuff I've been following, since this is kind of fun, for me at least. To the idiot that decided running the Docker daemon on a different port was going to fix your stuff. Yeah, they know about it. I'm looking at someone that just got popped right now.
At least he's trying.
Yeah. Ugh.
I
have a feeling
that time to modify his firewall.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling this is and also there's another thing where I gotta look at and see if there's a bunch of registry issues and whatever. Like there's something else that's getting done here. So, but yeah. So if you are the idiot that moved, this either is a Docker specific thing, like the company decided to do this, and the devs of the software decided to do this, where they were going to add another additional port for it instead of it being 2375 or 2376. It's been happening for over a month and a half now. And I've also found this in pen tests as well. So I think it's a Docker issue. So whoever decided that was going to be the fix. But if you see and you look at Shodan, you look at 4243, Docker. It's the same thing. Oh, and by the way, those guys are actually now congregating which port and following which port they've actually exploited via a user agent string.
Wait, they hacked it via the user agent string?
No. So the way that they track it is they'll curl back to go pull down their botnet files or their payloads, and they'll actually log the user agent string, and that user agent string tells you, hey, I did this to this port.
That's fun.
Oh, I'm about ready to like. Oh my god.
Yes, my child.
It's not fun, and also the people that think having it on.
Hey, Capco. I think you should go medieval on their heinies.
Yeah, I'm about to go full evil. Jeez.
That's straight up '90s reference. Charles will get it.
Mm-hmm.
Charles is playing with his dongle right now.
Is this Johnny? Is this Johnny 5 reference all over again? Because I didn't get that for like 4 months.
No, that's not Johnny 5.
I know it's another.
Johnny 5.
Okay, next up. And honestly, I don't know how to pronounce this. How you could have used? Is it homoglyphs? Homoglyphs?
Ask Adrian. He knows all about it. He made one. He made a generator on his site.
Homoglyphs. Okay. In domains and subdomains. And this has now been patched and disclosed. The first link I posted is the actual disclosure or final disclosure by a researcher at soluble.ai. And the way they were going in, they apparently, which I didn't know, as well as probably a lot of other people didn't, you could have used Unicode for a lot of website registrations.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have gone in, like with, they throw an example in of a Unicode Latin IPA extension, homoglyph character. So A in the Unicode looks very similar to A. G is almost spot on for G. L is pretty close. And there's certain instances where, Walmart. Okay, so Walmart has an L in it. You could have registered a website with that was WA homoglyph, Latin L, MART.com.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's going to look pretty legit.
Most registrars will not let you register them right now. I've been trying because.
Well, now, no.
Now, they won't let you do it.
Even before, I know GoDaddy doesn't allow this because we've tried to do that with a couple of our domains, but then we just make up a pretty close domain that's actually close enough to legit.
Yeah. But there were apparently, I know there was, I saw somewhere an actual number.
My favorite is tacking on support dash and then company name. Works every time.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not necessarily a homoglyph, though. So
Exactly. Like, I'm saying, like, if you can't do this now,
I know somewhere I saw maybe it's in the second one, because the second story is a cyber scoop where VeriSign Amazon patch 0-day vulnerabilities that utilize homoglyph characters. So I know somewhere one of them actually, over the last 3 years, 15 of 300 domains Hamilton tested were registered using the homoglyph technique and were issued via HTTPS certs. And those did include Fortune 100 sites. Yeah, it didn't go really deep into it, but apparently this may have been used kind of in the wild, or people unknowingly, which I find hard to believe, people unknowingly utilize homoglyphs, but it has been utilized. And up until recently, it was available to be used on most registrars.
Yeah, I was trying to do it for my own company, and I got one that would actually allow me to do it with their name, and then about a week after it was registered, they just automatically unregistered it, and they refunded my money. They were like, "Sorry, we've decided this goes against our terms of service."
Interesting. Nice. Okay. Second to last here, intro to macros and VBA. Not going to hit heavily on this. Trusted Sec had a pretty good write-up. If you're kind of getting into the security industry, say you've never written a script, you never worked with macros all that much, or you're a student, something like that, they had a pretty good write-up, an intro to macros and Visual Basic, and how to utilize it. Check it out. May be helpful, but one of those things, you will need that, especially if you're going to be red team. If you're a blue team, you will need to know PowerScript or PowerShell in the future.
That's the next one they haven't come out with yet.
Yeah.
It's PowerScript.
Yes, PowerScript. I like that.
with how much they're integrating the Linux kernel into their terminal, I'm not going to be surprised.
Could be. But blue teamers, you will have to know PowerShell, 100%, no matter what.
If you want to get a leg up on everyone, C#.
Yeah. But yeah, intros, macros, and VBA, check it out. May help you out. And last up, this could be a talking point. Let's see. Let's Encrypt. In 23 minutes, we'll be revoking millions of TLS certs. I think it's something
3
like...
million?
Yeah, 3 million.
Yep. Let's
Somewhere
Encrypt
there.
explained on Tuesday it had to revoke 3 million certificates because of a CAA bug that impacted the way its software checked domain ownership before issuing certificates.
Yeah.
Watch everyone's servers just go.
Yeah, I really feel like we definitely need to stay on for another 23 minutes. Just so
There's going to be a lot of pissed off malware authors.
Yeah, but I still feel like we need a countdown though. You know, this is like New Year's, right? Be like 10, 9, 8. But
Countdown timer.
Caprico's on it.
I got you.
But yeah, you know, I'm one of those people. I use Let's Encrypt for things. But two, there are some people who are not really happy about this. As one person said, I manage 200 domains across 20 servers and have until the end of the day to fix the problem.
Yep.
Said Mark, an IT consultant with Intuitive Engineering in Vermont. Let's Encrypt did not handle this in an ideal fashion at all. Hey, Mark, how much did you pay for those certs? Okay, there we go.
I paid a lot of money.
I mean, but in the same sense, Let's Encrypt, as long as you're not doing it Windows side and you're doing it Linux side, It is really not hard to renew certs. It's
It's a
not
good-
hard to do anything with certs on the Linux side with Let's Encrypt. Windows side, it's a pain in the ass.
It's a good opportunity for Mark to learn how to use Ansible to just push out some scripts to all his machines, update his shit.
Yeah, that's something I've been looking into. I've never messed with Ansible, and I do want to come back to Let's Encrypt, but, to divert off momentarily, I've never messed with Ansible.
I've used it
I
sparingly.
realize it is primarily corporate oriented, but do they have a full kind of open source version to be able to play with it and mess with it?
Yeah, Ansible's open source.
Okay.
Is it free? I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, where you can throw it into a home lab and start messing and playing with it and all that fun stuff.
I mean, I
So-
never downloaded any kind of license or anything to it when I first used it, but I think
Yeah.
they've changed it around a little bit.
Okay. But, I mean, because essentially it's for orchestration type of, rules and everything, right?
Yeah,
It's
you make
about the
these
different
workbooks
servers,
and
the
say what to
workbooks,
do.
You do this on server X and this on Y and blah, blah, blah.
All right, I've got the countdown running. If you're watching it on stream, that should be the only thing that you're seeing right now.
Whoa,
Yeah, Ansible's
world
free. They have a
is
paid version, but it's free.
getting ready to crash and burn. Caprico has the minutes.
Yeah, it is on a little bit of a delay, so we've got about a 15-second delay or so here.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna hear it a little bit before then, or a little bit after.
Nice. Okay, so who has worked with Ansible? Darren,
So
like Frank, you have. I mean, Trez. Darren,
It's okay.
have you worked with Ansible any? Darren is off taking a
Crickets.
dump right now.
Crickets for me too.
Yeah, crickets from Charles. Okay.
I have.
Because have you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, between Frank and Jack, what's your experience?
Well, I like the
dude,
fact that it's got a REST API built into it, so you can have it have your apps kind of trigger an event that will go do something on a bunch of your Linux machines, run that task.
Is it only Linux, or can you hit other things too? Like,
I've only used it for Linux, but I don't know if it
since it does have a REST API, like, can you work your way into, say, an ESX environment or, other kind of command line based things?
Well, I know it supports SSH, so you can probably use it on ESX. I haven't tried it, but I don't see why it wouldn't work.
Okay.
It works.
Although the shell in ESX is just a SH, it's not Bash, so it's going to be a little bit different.
It works. It's a pain in the ass to set up, but that's why I fucking hate developers.
I mean, like right now, I'm making an auto SSH script in ESX to make the ESX server kind of call back to a central thing, and I noticed there are subtle differences. Like there's no netstack command. You got to use like another different command that shows the same thing.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I was looking at it for something and kind of discounted it just because it seemed like it was going to be a real pain in the ass, but we'll see. I may reintroduce it and kind of put it back in the running.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we're kind of at the end of the show notes, but I don't want to miss the countdown. I have... I'm not going to, share my screen since Caprico's doing such an excellent job at that. But, so I have a 25U rack, and kind of the way I am building it out, I have 2 UPSs on the way, eventually. But I'm paying about 25% of the retail price for them, so I'm willing to wait a little bit longer.
How'd you accomplish that?
honestly enough, it was Amazon. And yeah, but too, I'm still speculative because they sell for about 1,200, and I paid 300 a piece.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I mean they're 1440 VPS. Wait, VPS? No. Um, shit. What are they called?
The shit.
Yeah, VA. Oh crap. What is it called? VAC, VPS. Like whenever they're usually like 1,500, 2,000 V. Ah, I'm actually gonna have to look it up now. VA. Yeah. So they're 1440 VA Cisco's that have the network management card included, which, that those cards are like $200 by themselves. Yeah. So
You think it's a pricing error, or do you think they legitimately are able to source them for that price?
I think it may have been a pricing error. I actually got an email tonight from the seller saying, unfortunately, they are back ordered.
Back ordered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they actually come in, because that's going to be a freaking steal. But I ordered 2 of them.
Another thing too, if you're building out a lab, like if you're just starting out, looking up some of the older hardware, like you can, like I picked up a Dell PowerEdge 710. It's a 2U 2.5 inch drive slots that you can throw just a SATA, or you can just throw an SSD into them. And that's mainly been my lab at this point. I have to upgrade, but I only paid like $120 for it, and then $30 in shipping.
And I do want to throw out there, if you're planning on building a lab utilizing ESX, so the 710s and the 610s. So I have 2 610s, and then I use a Nook Skull Canyon for a couple things, but also as a host witness, which you can get away with. But in upcoming versions of ESX, they're no longer going to be supporting the 610s and the 710s. So just be aware of that. You know, if you are looking now, and if you use Proxmox, screw it. Go ahead and use that stuff. But if
The
you
one thing I don't like with Proxmox is you have to install the drivers for Windows every time before you install Windows. You have to go in and install like a hard drive driver.
Yeah. So the reason why I don't run Proxmox is because I wanted to be able to utilize just an SD card for my OS for the ESX servers. Proxmox still essentially requires a full drive due to the read writes that occur, and you're going to smoke an SD card if you install Proxmox straight onto an SD.
ESX supports installing to flash drive now.
Correct. Yeah, and has for a long time. As well as
so does Unraid.
Yes. Yeah. And 2, if you go the ESX route, just as an FYI, you can sign up for VMUG, which I think is $200 a year, which gives you access to vCenter, essentially like the full licensed version of ESX. You got vCenter, you got a vSAN, you have access to kind of like their large scale repository, kind of like what did Microsoft used to do?
Suck.
No.
They still do.
MSSDN?
TechNet.
TechNet? Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you paid, like $100 or something for TechNet, and you could download Windows 7, Windows at that time.
They got rid
Windows
of that.
8, 7, every server 2008, or you could download fully licensed versions of it for like $100 a year. Man, that used to be nice. But yeah, VMware does a similar thing. So if you do go down the ESX route, check out vmug. It's not a bad thing, and
I like the
you
keygen
get some
route.
benefits. Say it again.
So I like the keygen route.
Yes.
It's a good route as well.
I mean, at you. I like ESX. I've been working off ESX for, at least 10, 11 years now.
You know,
Probably
same
since
here.
2009.
I just wish they would make Workstation compatible with ESX. Like, you don't have to export the image; just fucking copy it over. Let it use the same thing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Oh, that's another thing. With vmug, you get Workstation Pro. You get what is it on Mac?
Fusion.
Yeah, you get Fusion. You have Workstation for Windows. I mean, it actually isn't too shabby. Like what you would almost pay for like one of those items retail, you get the vmug and you have all the items then. So it's and I don't work for VMware, but I definitely like vmug.
Today's episode of Irongeek Podcast brought to you by VMware.
Whoa, look at this. One of my groups has a new post from Charles Shire.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, when did he jump in the deep end?
I didn't jump.
Not saying
Yeah,
what
I was
group.
invited. I got invited today.
Okay. Interesting. Hey, Charles has went to the dark side. Man,
Yeah,
who
man.
would have known?
I did not go to the dark side.
Man, look at our new members. I love that.
But
So
I'm posting some stuff, content. That's all I'll be posting.
So I put down one more article in the fun section.
Okay. What's it about?
SETI at home ends its crowdsourced search for alien life after 21 years. They found it, man. They found the aliens, so we're shutting down.
No, they didn't find the aliens.
Well, did they find the device for the anal probing? That's
No.
the big question.
No, it's just that with the power of computing and the diminishing returns, and it's just that there's a lot of data processing, but nobody really going through and looking at the data itself.
So,
What was this link to?
is the link not working? I took some
No,
shit off the
it's-
end of the link.
No.
Well, I mean, you can go directly to their go to their site because
Yeah,
I have a few of my machines on my.
the
few-
link took me just to MSN's homepage.
How's that? Is that better?
Well, let's X out the book click ID. Now let's see, because we don't want to give Facebook money. Okay, that works.
Up for you.
So the project is coming to an end on March 31st, and it's been 21 years it's been going on at UC Berkeley. It runs on a distributed computing platform called Boink. Yeah, I'd like to boink you.
Narc.
So,
Well, I was thinking more like brain, but yeah.
whatever.
So doing that, Brian.
See.
If you're unfamiliar with SETI at home, you would donate your spare CPU cycles so that it could try and find aliens. Well, proof of aliens. And back in the day, actually had a few of my machines running the SETI at home software, hoping that we would find some aliens, but never happened.
I knew this is why I liked you. Yes.
So fundamentally, as the article says, so much information has already been processed, and now it's time to sift through it and look for any sort of conclusion. We need to focus on completing the back-end analysis of the results we already have, they say, and then publishing a scientific journal paper. UC Berkeley's other astrophysics projects also use BOINC, and will still harness computing time if you're offering it. Or you could look for another good cause to support that uses BOINC, such as Folding at Home, which is still in operation. And that platform offers distributed computing for research, disease research, drug design, and other medical research, which recently began tackling COVID-19, otherwise known as the coronavirus. Corona. You know, people are refusing to buy Corona beer because they're stupid.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah, it's.
Not because it sucks, but because they think it has something to do with coronavirus.
I actually have a funny story about coronavirus, or not Corona, or about Corona, the beer, not the virus.
No.
When I was in Europe, and I think I talked about this back when I was there on the podcast. When it became summer, everything that people were drinking, and I'm like, we are in the center of beer heaven right now. Like, there's Germany, there's Belgium, there's like beer heaven. You know what these these college kids are drinking, man?
Corona.
Fucking Corona, man.
Because they want it, because it's what's hip and popular with American college students. They
Oh my
follow on.
God, it was so. I was like, nah, dude. Like, I'm getting the heaviest thing I can right now. This is like, I'm gonna be dehydrated, but it's gonna taste good. Like, I know that stuff is not good, and that was like import, so it's even more expensive for them to buy it. I'm like, what in the world are you guys doing? Stop, please. It was very weird seeing. And it wasn't even just the kids, like adults were just like, yo, let's go get Coronas. I'm like, what? No.
They drink Natty Ice around here, and I don't know why. It's like piss water.
Yeah. Have you guys ever tried Bush?
No.
Don't. That was my college experience.
Mine was Cisco and Wild Turkey
Wow,
and Wild Irish Rose
Oh shit.
and Mad Dog 2020.
Oh man.
I've heard Mad Dog.
No, Wild Irish Rose, man. I was doing that. When I was like 7 years old. Never again.
This is why you're wild.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't realize my great uncle was alcoholic.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's yeah. So yeah, shoot. Oh, also too, so speaking of wild, so just a little off topic here. So Hacker Conference is coming up this weekend. I will be a booth babe at Nova Hackers. Not Nova.
Are you going to be showing people your tits?
Besides Nova. Nah. My company's actually sponsoring Besides Nova this year. One of the sponsors. So I will be at the booth at Besides Nova. So if anybody wants to chat with me, please stop by.
Please, I need someone to talk to.
Now this is gonna be my first time really working at booth. So, and you know I can't stand still in real life. If anybody
Oh my God, no.
Met me, so this is gonna be pretty interesting for me. It's a challenge.
All right. By the way,
no.
Just by the way, T-minus 1 minute to all of those Let's Encrypt certificates going out. Israel, you are muted.
No, he's not. He's
T-minus
just not
1
talking.
minute to all those TLS certs that are going to go.
Man, it's gonna be a wild scene out there.
I'm gonna laugh if I because my plan is to refresh this page to see if the countdown or if this site is actually going to lose its certificate. Because I'm like, this is sketchy.
Did you check the cert?
No, it's fine.
Listen, I'm gonna duck for cover and refresh and watch Twitter go crazy.
It's gonna be like Ric Flair. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a Charles
37,
right there.
35, 34, 33,
3,
32,
2,
31.
1, 0. Ow, it actually rang in my ears really loud.
Nice.
I bear the pain. Let's see if this will actually work.
So the YouTube stream is about 25 seconds out of sync.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just watching it.
Nice.
Still
Well,
counting down.
It's gonna be out of sync if we do it now. So yeah.
Do we have anything left in the show notes?
YouTube 1-0. Woo! We
have
do
anything
not
left?
have anything left in the show notes. No.
I'm very sleepy.
Hi, Sleepy.
Adrian's very sleepy.
And Adrian's finally out of Facebook jail.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream. Everybody, I'll see y'all next Wednesday.
That's right.
Live streaming has stopped.
Real quick, Nathan. No, I have not used Zen. I messed around with Zen back in the day. I just adamantly do not like Citrix for multiple reasons from about 20 years ago. But that's a personal thing. So
I mean, it's gotten much better.
Right, goodbye.